Welcome to the 29th episode of the MC Knitting Adventures podcast. My name's Colleen.
And my name is May. Welcome to those returning viewers, and for those of you watching us for the first time, welcome. It's been a little while since we've been on a podcast, but we've been very busy with our full-time jobs, and we've been traveling, and we've gone to workshops, as you saw with our little last podcast. It's been a busy whirlwind, and we apologize
Exactly.
for taking so long, but we're going to get better at it because we're going to be retiring in the near future.
Yep.
And so we'll have more time to put forth towards our podcast. So thanks for hanging in there. Thanks for being there. And our adventure takes us all the way to Orlando, Florida this time. It was such an amazing trip, and I can't wait to talk to her about our adventure. But before we go there, Colleen's going to talk about
what we're wearing? No, I'm not. Because we were in Florida. And so I'm wearing something that I purchased in Florida. So I think we're thinking sun, it's going to happen soon here in Ontario. We'd like to be warm, so we hope to do that. And so as far as knitting and warmth, we're just not going to do that this time. But next time for sure we'll be wearing something that we've knitted.
All right, so that being said, we're not going to talk about what we're wearing, but we are going to talk about finished objects.
This episode is all about the babies. We've talked to you about families and babies, and right now I have two nieces and my nephew's wife. All three of them are expecting. It's crazy. It's just happened. There's going to be lots of babies.
People at work are having babies too, so
exactly.
We have to be prepared to have a gift.
Exactly. And my mom keeps saying, because she's a great grandma to all these babies, she says, I'm just getting more great all the time. So she likes that, and so it's nice to see what's going on. So I want to make sure we're prepared. So I've done a whole bunch of knitting. I've been trying to find just the right booty pattern, and you'll see that when we go. So the first thing that we're going to look at is one of these knitted car seat blankets by Maxim. And this one has to do with some lace work, and I love it. The yarn is Maxim Baby Value yarn. It's 100% acrylic, and this one is a little bit more open. There's some lace work in it, and I think that's the one that I want to send all the way to Australia, where my one niece lives.
That'll be great. This kind of reminds me of Ellen in Scotland. It reminds me of her pram colors a little bit.
Yes.
Of course, her pram colors are much more in-depth detail.
Yeah, she has a special loom that she uses. It's quite something.
Yeah, it's a kind of homemade loom, and she does these pram covers. It's about the same size. I think that's where I'm getting the same thing. But it's very nice, and I'm sure your relative and your niece in Australia will enjoy that.
Yes. So then it was trying to find the right yarn, trying to find the right pattern, and so I've knitted three baby hats. This is Heather Tucker's pattern, and I really like it. It's basically it's a nice basic one. She uses a DK baby weight yarn. So the first one we did.
Is this a beginner? Like if a beginner was knitting, could they do this, or is it a little bit more advanced than a beginner?
A beginner could totally knit this. I did a little bit of changing on this. So this one I did a twisted rib at the bottom.
This here?
Okay. Yes, that bottom is a twisted rib at the bottom. You can, if you want to open it with your hands, that's good. So that was one of the first ones. Now you're going to, why would you do like school bus yellow? Well, you'll see that one of the booties that I made looked like a welly boot, as May says. And so what she said is you should make one like that. And then I wanted to try a different pattern. And so it doesn't quite look like a welly boot, but they're kind of cute. Does it sound funny when I say that?
It does.
Isn't that what you say?
Yeah, it was wellies.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
All right, so that's the first one. Now the second one, same pattern, still the twisted rib, and this is Loops and Thread Joy DK.
This feels a little softer. Am I right in that?
It is. It's a beautiful yarn. I got it at Michael's, but I liked that. It's a very neutral color, and I love this hat pattern. I like being able to switch up the rib a little bit, so I was really thrilled with that one.
Very nice.
And I like the way, if you didn't do just what you just did, because that's perfect, if you turn your hands that way, because the crown has some detail on it that I really, really like. It's got some knit two togethers and slip knits, and it just changes up how the top of the hat looks, so that's good.
Nice.
And then we were in the States, and we were in Hobby Lobby. I think this is where this one came from.
Port Huron in the States, not Orlando in the States, correct?
Right. And this is called Baby Bee yarn. And I wanted to have kind of a muted gray. Now for this one, I didn't do the twisted rib. I just did a knit 2, purl 2 rib. And once again, they're just these cute little hats that I think will be easy on for the babies, and that's...
Each one of them has a different texture. To tell,
Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find, you just want to find the perfect thing. So I've just been working
experimenting
through all
a little bit as to what's going to work with me. I really like this one. If I had to pick, I like this this yarn.
It's really
soft.
nice to work with.
They're all nice though, but this would be my favorite.
Okay, so that's the hats. So then we went off to the world of the booties. Okay, so first of all...
It's hard. There's so many of the patterns out there.
Exactly. So this pattern is by Ines M. And I don't know how to pronounce it. It says baby and it Hausschuhe. I don't know. It's by Ines M. I really like this pattern because there's not a lot of sewing up when you do that. So these are not looking like little wellies, but it might look a little bit more like a wellie if you do that, but they're still not quite the same.
It's definitely not
okay.
wellie. Look, there's other ones that you've knit that look like wellies,
yes,
but
these ones don't.
Like
but these are cute little boots, and they'll go nice with the yellow hat.
With a hat. So, a nice little thing for somebody to put on, different. Want to brighten the child up a little bit. Maybe if the child's crying, you put this on and make them happy.
Make them happy. A happy yellow color.
There you go.
So I did that same pattern again, and I did it in the gray, which is that baby bee.
And this goes with this hat.
Yes, that's the one. So a nice little set there.
That'll be a cute little gift.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm happy with all of this. It's really, really
They're
nice.
Cute. Those are so cute.
I know. We keep thinking, where are these babies? But they're not coming till later on this year, so we'll have to get the goods to them so they can have that. Now, we really liked this yarn. And once again, that's the Joy DK that I got at Michael's. It's loops and thread. So I decided I wanted to make these boots. Okay, they're called mini snow boots. I found it in a magazine. It's a drops design. This is from the Knitter, and this is issue 33, I guess, or 133, I think. There it is.
And there's the snow boots.
They're the snow boots.
They're so lovely, aren't they?
They really are.
Aren't they beautiful?
And I love them. I love them. And yet, it's a lot of work. So it has twisted rib. It has cable down the front. You have to do some sewing together.
Sewing at the back.
Exactly.
A lot of work.
They are a lot of work. Now, I love them. I think they're cute. And I think these definitely do look like boots.
Well, this is how the whole conversation got started. I said, those look like welly boots.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said.
If you could knit those in yellow, it would be like Paddington Bear,
Exactly.
with the yellow welly boots and a little blue hat.
And I had this idea that would be great, and bought the yellow yarn, and then was working on these and thought, oh my gosh, I'm not sure I want to make another pair. I really like them, and I like how they turned out.
Too time consuming.
It was.
For the product you get, I think.
Yeah, they're cute though.
They're cute. They are cute.
I do like them.
It's a lot of work.
It is. But it's a great pattern. It's well written, easy to understand. So I was happy with it. But as you said, it's time consuming.
Once in a lifetime kind of pair, but you wouldn't want to be, putting these out once a week or something like that, right? So
yeah, but it's a great pattern. I do like.
Well, that's good.
All right, so then the last thing that I have, I know more booties. So I'll let you hold these ones up.
Okay.
These are called Newborn Booties, and they are by Priscillia Uloho. I'm hoping I'm saying it right.
These are by far my favorite.
So I used the DK yarn, and I think if I used a worsted weight yarn, I could get a bigger pair. So these are fairly small, but I mean, they're going to stretch. But I like these ones as well. I think they're really cute. They look like a little boot, and you can see on the pattern they use 2 different colors. So we're almost getting that look of an Ugg boot, and they're really, really cute. So it has been babies all the time right at the moment, but I think we're getting our stash of hen garments for the babies ready. So when everybody has their babies, we'll be able to send them to them. those are my finished objects. And now, May, talk about your finished object.
Well, as you know, I bought a new camera, and I've been getting into photography, so I thought I'd look at some of our old photos that we've been taking over our trips and different things, because some of them are quite good, and what they do is they end up on a hard drive or a
Exactly.
USB, and we don't get them out. So I thought, and I was listening to a fellow, Peter McKinnon, he's a YouTuber, and he talks about when you make your photographs, put them in print, like get them out, enjoy them.
Absolutely.
And so I
agree.
went through and I picked one out that one of Colleen and I took a photo of. We were in Scotland, and it's one of my favorites, our favorites. And it was at, do you remember?
Yep. We went to Inverary. May's cousin drove us up to Fort William, which is a beautiful little village, and so we were there, and then we ended up driving back and we went to Inverary, and this is where this picture's taken. Now, you know something about the boat, and I don't remember the...
There's a TV show back in the day, and it's called the Vital Spark, and apparently back, I don't know, in the 50s, there was a TV show that was viewed on that boat.
Oh my goodness, that's very exciting.
Yeah, so I think if you YouTube that boat, you can see what the show was like. Some of you might remember that show, I don't know. Maybe you're older like me, I don't know. Anyway, so it's just one of my finished objects. Definitely if you have some art out there, you have some photography, please blow it up. I hardly recommend that. It's great rather than sitting in a hard drive.
Exactly, I agree. Because, you know, it's so nice because, as you said, May, it just brings back those memories as soon as you take a look at it.
Yeah.
So those are our finished objects, and next we're going to talk about works in progress. My first work in progress is another baby blanket. So I just want to explain to you, you know about all the babies coming, but what I bought was this kit from Maxim. It's called Knitted Car Seat Blankets, which are really handy, by the way. And that kit comes with 4 different colors of yarn, enough to make baby blankets. So I made the one that's aqua and a basket weave pattern. I have made the yellow one, which you just saw. It's the one that has some lace in it. And I really like the basket weave pattern, so I'm coming back to it. So this is the pink one. And here is what it looks like. That's how much I've got done so far.
Very pink.
It's very pink. The colors are lovely, but they are very much those colors. I think I like the aqua and the blue the best. The yellow's pretty too, but anyway, it's kind of nice, and I like to get using up all my stash, which makes me happy. It's going to take me a while to use up all my stash, just tell you. But I mean, it's nice to do these because these you can tuck away, and then if somebody's going to have a baby, then you've got things ready.
Yeah, maybe you could make some of these in just more subtle colors would be nice.
Yes,
like
absolutely, absolutely.
But it came in that kit, so you
Yes.
didn't really have much choice. in
No,
the
and I
color
wanted
choices.
to, I wanted to use them up. Now, the nice thing is this one's really swooshy. Like, I think this would be really comfy. And they don't take very long to do. Okay, it's a 5mm needle. It's really nice.
You don't
And-
often see a car seat blanket.
No, and they're great in the car. I know I crocheted one for your cousin when she was expecting her baby, and it was really nice. Like, it's a nice size. It's easy to use. It's not this big thing you're trying to fit on a car seat.
Yeah.
So it's great. So that's that. Now, my second work in progress is actually a combination of 2 things. So it's one of the baby and toddler socks by Dragonpine Designs. And it is, the yarn is Paton's Kroy, and it comes out of this work sock pattern by Maxim. So what I did was I bought the pattern. It was a kit, so it came with the yarn, so I had all the colors. And then I decided I was going to make a baby sock. So I'm not going to call this a hoe because it's a baby sock, and I don't want to say hoe in a baby sock. So it's just one little sock. I did the contrast heel. I did the lovely red stripe. I mean, it's Paton's Kroy, so it is somewhat rustic. But I think on a little baby's feet, it would be just fine.
It would be fine on the feet, I
And
think.
once I do some blocking of it, which I'll just basically wash it in some soap or some Eucalan, then I think it will soften up a little bit.
So this inspired me.
Yes,
This
it did.
sock inspired me to do something.
Yes.
And I don't know why, but I was on the internet, and I think it was an Etsy, and I'm sorry that the name escapes me, but there's all these little babies, and they had these things, and I'll show you what I mean because I can't really explain it. Colleen and I used to do cakes,
Yes.
and we had these little molds that we do, and we'd use fondant of babies. these little babies, and we would put them on cakes for like showers or what else would we do? Like baby showers mostly.
Right, absolutely.
And we put them on top of the cakes.
Right.
So then I'm looking at knitting things, and here's these little babies that we use for the cakes. And I thought, how did they do that with fondant on it? I wasn't really understanding. But then I realized they used polymer clay, and a lot of you are probably very familiar with that. And it's just a nice light clay. You can reuse it and use it. And you put it in this silicone mold. Right. And it makes a little tiny baby. And you can do little things with the baby, like you can dress the baby up. And it had some knitting items. A lot of them had some knitting stuff. Right. So I decided I was going to try our cake mold, our baby mold, and put polymer clay in it. And then put some knitting to maybe match Colleen. That was my inspiration. There we go. And this is what happened. So, here's the baby. Oh, how cute is that?
It's so cute.
I don't know if you can see that on my hand.
Yeah, you can maybe take a picture of it. That might work.
Yeah, I'll take a picture, put that up there.
Yes, that'd be great.
And the baby comes naked with his little butt. And you dress the baby up as well. So I put some knitting on it that would match the inspiration of the
And you've
song.
done a really great job because it actually looks like knitted stitches. Yeah, so I think if you take a really close-up picture, then they'll be able to get a better view of it.
Okay, you get a better idea of what I'm talking about here. Now, this was my first attempt. So I was squishing the baby's face and squishing the baby up. So my next baby, I'll be very careful as to not put my thumb on the baby's face so it's all squished, as you can see, and make it a little bit better. But this gives you the idea
really
with the
cute.
little sock.
That's
it's cute.
a great idea.
So my idea is to then you put the polymer clay in the oven.
Okay.
And it hardens up.
Right.
And then my idea was to put this on top of a box, a little keepsake box that I painted.
Right.
Put that in the box and put the sock in the box. And then
that's a great gift.
Do that. And then open the box, and then you have the gift inside. And I thought that was a brilliant idea.
It is a brilliant idea. You have lots of great ideas.
Yes.
Now this one, I have to tell you, got us into some trouble. Because we would be at Chapters or in Starbucks, and all of a sudden May would say very excitedly, "Come on, Colleen, we've got to go home and make some babies." I went, "Oh my goodness, what's she talking about?" So anyway, and then we'd look at each other and go, "Okay."
Yeah. Maybe that probably is not appropriate to say in Starbucks. But anyway, that's what I was talking about, making this little baby.
It's
so
very cute.
It turned out quite nice. Again, my thumbprints are all over there, but I just love that little thing. It's so cute.
It is really cute.
Yeah, and it goes with the theme here.
Nice. And I think your idea was then you would match whatever is knit that's going to be in the box.
So if you do yellow socks, I could maybe make a little yellow outfit with a little yellow sock.
I think that's a great idea.
And pink and so forth, and we would have a little gift for somebody.
And it is a nice little box for keepsakes. You know?
Right.
So, there's all kinds of little things. First lock of hair from somebody having their first haircut.
Yeah, your first tooth.
Yeah.
Your toenails. I don't know.
Oh, toenails. Okay, one too far. Just one too far.
Anyway, I hope you enjoy that. Maybe that inspires you to get some polymer clay. You can make jewelry. You can make silicone. You can make your own babies. You can there's all kinds of things that you can do. The things I don't learn. I love crafting all this stuff.
So those are our works in progress. And next we're going to talk about our adventure.
Today's adventure took us to Orlando, Florida. And we had an amazing time, so I can't wait to tell you all about that. Now, Orlando, Florida, I'll tell you a little bit about that before we start with some interesting facts. Orlando actually was named after a soldier. That's how it got its name. Oh. It's a city in the central part of Florida. It's known as the City Beautiful and also the theme park capital of the world.
Absolutely.
Of course it is, because when we were there, we know. They get more than 51 million visitors per year.
Oh my goodness.
That's a lot of visitors. 4 million are from outside of the U.S.
Wow. We were some of those people.
Yeah, we were. So some of the attractions that are there are Walt Disney World, of course. There's the Gatorland. There's Wet n Wild. There's Universal Studios. There's SeaWorld. It's just set up amazing when we were there. We can explain a little bit more about that later. Now, Walt Disney put Orlando on the map in 1965 when he announced that he was going to build Walt Disney. And he built it in Orlando because inland so that he would avoid some of the hurricanes.
Oh, that was a smart thing.
Yeah, it was a smart thing to do. And he did announce it in 65, but it was opened in 1971.
Oh, okay.
And it's 66 square miles of theme parks. There's 4 theme parks. There's 24 themed hotels. There's 4 golf courses. There is a campground in there that I want to go to. And they have RVs, they have tent sites, they have cabins.
Oh,
and
sounds
I
so
really
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they open the park an hour early, I believe, if you're in one of the theme parks or one of the campgrounds.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah. So some interesting facts is, and you know what, one of the things that Colleen and I did when we were in Orlando is that we ate out restaurants, we drank fancy drinks, and we got on this trolley car, and every day we would pick a different restaurant that we went to.
Absolutely.
And so one of the interesting facts about Orlando is if you ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner at a different restaurant every day,
Right.
it would take you 5 years to dine at every restaurant in Orlando.
Oh my goodness. Well, we have a good start.
Yep. Now, and there's tons of hotels and lots of places to eat. It's the second largest place of the second place with the most hotels in the U.S.
Oh, I would
The
imagine
first
so.
place, can you guess where that is?
Las Vegas.
You're right.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I
Las
got right.
Vegas is the first place that has the most hotels in the USA. Anyway, that was a little bit about Orlando, so now we can just talk about what we did. We didn't visit any of those theme parks.
No, we
Of
didn't.
course, in that line of thing, I should have said the most attractions are the yarn stores, and the yarn store that we visited was the Four
Pearls.
Purls. And so that should have been in there with Walt Disney, right up there with Walt Disney. That's what I think. And so we did not visit the parks, but we did visit the Four Purls. And our adventure was not, doing the theme park thing, but we took advantage of the restaurants. We took advantage of the nice hotels. Our hotel had pool. It had hot tubs, like 4 hot tubs, and
Had a little fitness trail you could walk.
Yep. And
Have to be careful about the alligators.
That's true. We had this little trail. There was kids and everything around, and they had a sign saying, "Be careful of alligators." I said, "Oh, they're just kidding." Oh no, we saw the alligator. We have pictures to prove it. So that was kind of fun. We just needed to get away from work and away from the world, and
Yeah.
it's a
And it
2-hour
was-
flight, like
Yeah.
2.5 hours there,
Right.
2-hour flight back. The plane actually leaves from our hometown
Exactly.
and lands in Orlando.
It was
it's 2
brilliant.
hours. It's very easy, very slick.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to lay by the pool for a week because we had enough. Have you seen from some of our podcasts, some of the winters? And some people embrace winter.
Yeah.
Like, they skidoo, they ski.
Ice fish.
Ice fish, sled. I'm really not that person.
No.
I'm meant
You
to be
want-
born under where there's warm. I'm meant to be born under a palm tree. I just feel that in my bones. I need to be where it's warm.
Exactly.
Anyway.
It was nice to be in shorts and a t-shirt and kind of roll out and go for a walk, and that was
Things
good.
that we like to do are summer things. We like to walk, we like to golf, we like to camp. All the things that we love to do are in the summer.
Yeah.
But we rented a car, and that was another experience, but that's a whole other podcast. But the car was nice. It was we drove down to the
Four Pearls YarnShop. Yep.
and it was well worth the trip. And
Exactly.
in 2 hours we were home. We just put our car in the parking lot at the airport, came off the flight, 2 hours in the car, and we were home. It was
There we
great.
go. It was great.
So I want to go back to the Four Pearls, and I want to go back to Orlando, and we'll have to wait till next year.
Yes, we will.
This working for a living is really cutting into our
podcast.
leisure podcasts and our leisure time. But we'll get better at that.
That's right. So we did have a great time, and that trolley was amazing. So for 5 days, it was $18 US for both of us, like not each. For the two of us, it was $18 US, and we could hop on and hop off where we went. We went north, we went south, we went around, we went up to the...
I think it was International
Outlet Mall.
Drive, and it goes for miles.
It does, and it was amazing,
yeah.
and it was easy to do, and so we really, really liked that. And then, as you said, we rented a car. We rented a red car, so it was a little sporty. And May did a great job driving because we just knew. I Googled a little thing, and I thought I need to go to the Four Pearls yarn shop because I saw their Instagram feed and I saw an interview on YouTube actually that had taken place. I said, May, this is store, we have to go to it.
And so worth renting the car. So worth the trip to
Exactly.
get there. The people were absolutely amazing.
Yes. So it is in Winter Haven, 334 3rd Street Northwest in Winter Haven, Florida. Very easy to get to.
From Orlando, how long was it? An hour?
An hour and a bit, I think. Not too much more than that. And that's for us because we didn't do highways. We always program the GPS that we don't want highways. And then it's a much more relaxed little thing. So we had a great time going. When we walked in, we met Noelle and Donna, lovely people. And Noelle said, I know you. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm in the middle of Florida, Central Florida. I'm in a yarn store I've never been and somebody knows me. She knows us. How did that happen? But she
watches the podcast.
Was watching your podcast. So hello, Noelle. Hello, Donna. It was great to meet you both. We had a great time at that store. Souvenirs, I only had a little case. So we'll talk about that when we get to souvenirs.
And there's so much to talk about. I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but you were talking about people that we met. The owners were nice, and the people that worked there were great. But also, we met some of the customers. And the one lady that was there from Scotland, she had been from Houston, and then she moved to Florida. And she's a regular person that goes and knits there once a week, I think. And we had a great conversation. And she was from Edinburgh, Scotland.
Right.
So yeah,
but she's been to where you were born.
Yes, she has relatives in Saltcoats.
So small world.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
We spent a great time there, and again,
Yeah.
there was a beautiful restaurant next door.
Exactly.
So, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No problem. So we got into the store. They kind of showed us around. It is divided up by weights of yarn. Emma is one of the daughters, and there's Emma's Yarn. So Emma and Aspen are daughters, and the owners are Laura and JD. Now, we didn't get to meet the owners because they have this truck, and it is called the Follow the Fiber Yarn Truck. And so they take it around Florida, and they were away with the truck on the day that we were there. So we didn't get to meet them, but
we got to meet the daughters.
Got to meet the daughters.
They were busy dyeing. They were busy dyeing. They came away from their busy schedule to have a little chat with us and take a picture.
I know, and they're so sweet, and everybody was lovely. Now, what I really like is that in one part of the store, it's kind of like a carpeted area. There's chairs all the way around.
You can see that in the photos.
Exactly, and they call it their living room. And it's exactly that. And if I'd had time, I would have loved to sit and knit. And it would be great. So I hope we get to go back and I'll actually sit in the living room and knit. It's a neat idea that what they do. They have all kinds of yarn. And as I said, it was really tricky. I'm going to try and list some. So they have Barocco. They have Concentric Cotton by Haiku. They have Sweet Georgia, Malabrigo, Angula. They had Lang, Lorna's Laces, Queen City Yarn, Sirdar. They have so many things. And one of the ones that I didn't get that, I didn't have enough room in my suitcase. It was okay. Was Stranded Dye Works. So that's Amy Florence, and she's in England, and she has yarn that she sells in the Four Purls yarn store. Wow. So it is a brilliant yarn store, and all of the samples are unbelievable. I walk around, May's taking pictures, she's chatting with the lady originally from Edinburgh, and I'm just like I'm a kid in a candy store. So lots of times what happens is when we get back and May's going over photos, I think, I didn't see that, and I didn't see that, and I think, how did she see all that stuff? They had lots of books, lots of patterns, lots of ideas, and the people, Donna and Noelle, were so helpful. So it was really, really good.
And it helped that it was 85 degrees.
It did, and yet I still wanted to buy wool. I'm just saying, it's my job. So initially my plan had been to go and buy cotton, and then I had cotton in my hand. There's a pattern that was there that I need to try and figure out how I'm going to get it, which I really, really liked. But I thought I can buy cotton anywhere. So when we get into souvenirs, you'll understand what's going on. Now we're going to talk about souvenirs. And as I mentioned earlier, you have a carry-on and you think, there's lots of room, and then there's not lots of room. So
you did really well considering you had a little carry-on. We all took a little bag and a little carry-on. That was it.
I know. And we did a great job. So I was happy with that. So let's talk first of all about the things that we got not necessarily at the Four Purls yarn shop. So when we went to Winter Haven, we were a little bit early for the yarn store opening. What a surprise, we're early. And so we went to Joann's Fabrics. So I found this pineapple fabric, and it just was reminding me about being in the sunny south, and I thought that's going to make some pretty good project bags.
Love the colors of that
I
fabric.
do. It's
That'll be.
just
And what are you going to make
beautiful.
with this?
I'm going to make a project bag. I think I might make a bag for you to put your towel in for when you
that's a
go
good
to
idea. Yeah, the
swimming
beach.
pool or the beach. Yeah, I think that's part of what's going to
We
be there.
needed that when we were there. We needed a bag for our beach
We
towel.
did. That's exactly what we needed. The other thing we did, we went to a Walgreens. I think it was a Walgreens.
Yes, it was a Walgreens.
And
Because it was open 24/7.
Exactly. And I found this lovely bag. Obviously, it's from Orlando. And the interesting thing about it, in the Walgreens, it was $9.99. And then when we were getting ready to go home in the airport, a bag that was very similar was $19.99. So sometimes at the airport things are a little bit more expensive, but this is great. It's got a zippered top. Whoops. It's got a few pockets
Is this
inside.
going to be a project bag for
Yes,
the beach?
it's a project bag. I'm always looking for things. It's really quite nice how it is inside. It's kind of a little plasticky, so it'll keep it safe.
It's got a zipper pocket in there too, I know.
Exactly. So I was for $10. It was brilliant,
There you go.
and it's got good memories with Orlando.
Great little project bag.
Exactly. I was happy. The other thing I did get was like a keychain, and I'm going to take some of the little characters off the keychain. It shouldn't be a hard decision, but there were so many of them. And I'm going to make some stitch markers with it. So that I did as well. So now let's talk about Four Purls Yarn Shop. Did I mention that it's called Four Purls Yarn Shop because there's 4 kids in the family?
You may have it early, but it's okay to mention it again.
I'm mentioning it again. There's all these little pieces of information you find when you look at people, read about people, and I am fascinated with this yarn truck idea.
And I can take a picture of this yarn truck.
Okay,
And
that
I'll
would be
put it
great.
up when we're finished.
That would be
But
fantastic.
I didn't realize that was on the back, but that shows you a picture of the yarn truck.
Exactly. So we were fortunate to be able to actually go to the store. Now, where to start? Well, first of all, they were lovely, and they threw in these buttons, one for me and one for May. She'll take a picture because that's going to be hard to see. But it's a Four Purls Yarn Store button. There you go. It can
should've
go
wore
on
those.
there. And, oh my goodness, where did I go? So they had this pattern, and it is called Cullum by Isabell Kraemer. And it is basically a tea kind of sweater for summer. And I had seen it.
Now, being in Florida, did a lot of their patterns, were they summer like this? I didn't really look at the
No,
patterns.
they
but
weren't. There were lots of other things as well. I think, there's cool days. And I was in Florida one year, and it was frost.
Yeah.
And they actually closed the pool because it was too cold. It was not
So
the
they
year.
need sweaters too.
They need sweaters too.
Maybe not quite as often as we
Absolutely.
need them, but
So Cullum is the name of the pattern. I'm really thrilled with it. And the yarn that I decided to get is Emma's yarn. It's called Crazy Beautiful Color, and it's super silky. So I actually didn't have this yarn. I had a different base. It was still Emma's. It's Heliotrope is the colorway.
they're all the same here?
They're all the same. And they didn't have enough skeins. And so then I went to this one, and I love the fact that there's silk in it, and that is going to help the drape of this thing. So I am very excited, and I've been doing
So
some.
warm. It's like
It's so
nice,
soft.
and warm.
There is helical knitting when you're carrying 2 skeins, and which is what I'm going to have to do with this. And I'm going to get online and look on YouTube, because I've heard from a number of podcast people that I watch that that's a great idea to do that. So I am thrilled. I'm going to get going on this because it would be nice to have that for the summer.
Yeah, very nice. And then
So-
you see Emma on the video.
Exactly.
The young girl that
Now,
dyes that yarn, which is amazing.
the other thing there was it is called a Helluva scarf, is what I think it's called. It's a pattern, and it needs one of these skeins. So this is called a Hella Hank, and it is merino, cashmere, and nylon. Oh my goodness.
Soft.
It's called Blue Lagoon,
Very
and
lovely.
it has 600 yards. So it's a skein and a half, basically, and it is beautiful. So this scarf that I saw is really nice and will look great in that. So sometimes you have a shawl pattern that needs, you buy 2 skeins, but you only use half of one, and I think this will be doing the trick.
Nice.
I was thrilled with that. Then, oh my goodness, so many things. Then I found this. So this is by Wool and Wire. And what it is a necklace, and this pearl at the bottom is a stitch marker. And so this, can you hold that for me?
Sure.
I'll try to explain. So there's a bit of a swirl and it kind of closes off and you could take a stitch marker and do it around. So they actually sell stitch markers, this Wool and Wire company. I didn't buy any extra. But then you can sit with 4 or 5 and then when you need one, you just undo it. But it's a beautiful necklace. The chain is really long. We actually had left the store. We went and had lunch and I was talking to May and I kept thinking, you know,
I should have bought that necklace.
I should have bought that necklace. And so
But
I
you know
ended
what?
up,
You know why we do that is because we
Yeah.
both make jewelry, we both do things,
Yeah.
and then you don't really want to pay for something that you think that, you know. So I'm hoping that I can make one of these too because I really like it. I'll take it out of the
yeah.
package.
Oh, thank you. That's a great idea.
Yes, we had a lunch, and then Colleen kept thinking, I should have bought that necklace. I should have bought that necklace. And so then after lunch, we drove back to the store and we bought the necklace. I'm going to try and make one of those because for myself.
You're a talented soul.
And
you
we'll
absolutely
see
could do
for
that.
the next podcast if I can do that.
I think you will
That
be able to.
is a task.
Exactly. All right.
right.
So that's that. And then the last thing that I bought, it's called the Sheep Squeezer. Don't say that 3 times fast because that would be tricky. I've seen these on other podcasts, but I've never seen them around in Ontario. Haven't seen them there. So I have put this over. So there's my purple skein of yarn that was caked up. And I had to get the ones with all these lovely little llamas because they're so cute. And what it does is it holds it together so it doesn't kind of fall in on itself. It's a little stretchy. And I like to pull from the center of the skein, which is why that yarn is out there. And so it will just keep it safe. If I were to throw that in the bottom of a project bag, it's going to protect it.
It's not going to get all tangled.
Exactly.
That's
Like, it's
So I'm
brilliant.
thinking, what is the purpose of that? I'm not understanding. But when you say about that, you just take it, you throw it in the bag, you don't have to worry about it.
Exactly.
And then it's not all all over the place. Oh,
Exactly.
brilliant idea now that I know what it's for.
Exactly. So I'd seen them on podcasts.
And it's easy to go on and off. Like this goes
Exactly.
on like that. No,
Very nice.
goes around.
So
Yeah.
that's another thing. So I don't know if I'll be able to. I might want to try
think
and
you
sew
can make
some
one
of
of
those.
those, too.
Yeah, I might give it a try. I
Hey,
really
maybe we
like
can use
it.
it as a cuff. It can be multi-purpose. Found new
I
fashion.
should have bought you one.
Yeah, new fashion for that. I
There
like
you go.
That,
You like that?
Oh, look at that. Look
Oh.
at that. We just designed. Oh my God! We just invented it right here on national YouTube. We just designed a fashion.
Oh,
Look at
my
that.
goodness.
I like that.
It's
though.
gorgeous.
I truly would wear another one. If I had 2 of them, I would wear them
would?
to work like that.
Well,
Yeah.
guess what?
It's
I
a
know.
new fashion statement. I like
Christmas time is coming. I'll get started knitting something. She'll have some cuffs that work.
it. Maybe it looks better on the yarn.
It looks better on the yarn, but that's okay. I'm glad that you like it.
Yeah, it's great. Great idea.
So we had an amazing time in Florida. We got a little bit of warmth in our
Rest,
lives, and we needed
R&R.
that a little bit of rest.
Yes.
We had a chance to go to this yarn store, which I wish I could, fly back to and knit in the living room. So hopefully we'll be able to knit there at some point in time.
Back to reality. Back to eating habits that are healthy.
Well, they're kind of boring.
I know it's very boring.
It's
But,
okay.
we got to work on that healthy.
If we start walking,
Yes.
yeah. Now that the snow is gone, we're good.
But
So we'll get
hang in
walking.
there. We can do this, right? We can do this
absolutely.
healthy eating thing. It's not easy,
No, it's not.
as you guys probably know.
I know.
Anyway, so it was a wonderful trip.
We
Can't
did
wait
have
to
a
go
great
back.
time.
The store was
Exactly.
amazing.
Exactly.
You know.
And thanks again to Noelle and Donna because you really welcomed us and we really appreciate
Yeah.
it very much. So that's our adventure to Orlando. If you like what you're seeing, please give us a like, comment down below. I'm working on those baby boots, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. So if you've got a good pattern, let me know
Yeah,
that.
that
Would
would
be
be
really,
great,
really helpful.
yeah.
I'd appreciate that. And if you're liking what you're seeing, please subscribe. And until next time,
You take care.